So welcome to a very windy, very sunny Florida. And I thought I'd just explain a little bit about these deionized water units or water systems that we've been recommending over the last 12 months. Because we get hundreds, and I mean hundreds and hundreds of emails asking us questions just before people purchase, which is fair enough. So I clearly haven't explained well enough on the previous videos. So let me explain the difference. There's two systems available. This is called a Pro 100. It's the largest unit and it holds 1 cubic foot of deionized resin. The second unit is called a Pro 50, and guess what? It's 50% of the size. So it's half the size and it holds half a cubic foot of resin. You'll get the same result from both systems. The only technical difference between the two is that the bigger unit, this one that I'm using now, the bigger unit can cope with 10.5 gallons per minute throughput of water. Not that you would never use that. Most faucets only produce 2.5 gallons per minute. So it's fairly academic. And the Pro 50, which is half the size, that can cope with 5.5 gallons of water per minute. The closest competition to that runs about 2 gallons a minute. So these are far, far better units. That's the difference between the two systems. Now, a lot of questions we get is about this head unit, because unlike any other system on the market, this system has a bypass valve. So let me tell you all about the bypass valves and how this part of the system works. So out of the box, if you ordered the Pro 100, this is what you're going to receive as it is. The valves on top do move. We get a lot of questions saying these valves wobble. That's fine. The way they're connected inside, they have a big O-ring, so that you don't have to do them up with a pair of grips, just hand tight. They will not leak water at all. You see that valve wobbles, that valve wobbles. It's absolutely no problem. That is how they are supplied and how they're supposed to be. Now, the right hand, the left hand, I'm obviously looking backwards, is the water in, and the other side is the water out. Now, something worth fitting is I've added these quick release connectors, which I got from Home Depot, which I'll put on my website, and they just make connecting as quick as that. So that's our water in, and this is our water out. So that system is ready to go. This was just taken out the box, never used before. In fact, I do this every time I use it. Because I lay mine horizontally when I'm traveling in the RV, when you put it back vertically, it's best to run about 5 or 10 gallons of water through, just to get the resin on a level, and it's called a bed. So the resin bed needs to re-establish. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to run 5 gallons of water through this, because I want you to understand from start to finish how to use this system. So I'm just going to walk over to the faucet and turn that on. Now, importantly, thing to remember, these valves on top, they're in the shape of an arrow. So it's absolutely imperative that the arrow is pointing in the system and out the system. Because if you had the arrows like that, all we're actually doing is we're bypassing the resin. And the whole purpose of running 5 or 10 gallons through is that you populate the resin with water. So I'm literally getting the resin established again. It's called a resin bed. So I reckon that's about 3 gallons now. So by the time I walk over and turn it off, it'll be about 5 gallons. Incidentally, this trolley, or truck as I think you call it, I purchased from Lowe's. It's just $23, and you probably don't need this on the small unit, but on the big unit you can see I've just strapped it with one strap. So we've just finished running our water through, so the resin bed is now re-established. So this system is ready to use, but before we use it, I just again want to explain in detail how to use these valves at the top. I'll say that again. So the water comes in, goes into the resin rips out all the minerals, and what comes out is 100% deionized water. In other words, water with nothing in it at all. That's why when it dries, it leaves no marks on your coach or car or boat. Now, to pre-rinse your RV or boat or car, you don't want to use deionized water. You don't want to waste it. So you turn the valves so the 2 points face each other. And what that's actually done is blocked off the tank. So now the water comes in and goes straight out. So when you're pre-rinsing your coach ready to wash and then rinsing the soap off afterwards, that's the position it's going to be in. So you only use the deionized water for the final rinse, and that's the rinse that's rinsing off the previous rinse you did with normal water. So you only use this for the final rinse. Every other part of the washing process on your vehicle, put it in bypass mode. Save your resin. We have had this resin in this tank since the 2nd of April last year, and we're now the 26th of April, a year later. We wash our coach probably minimum once a week, sometimes 2 times a week if we're in a sandy, dusty environment. And this resin is still reading 0, meaning this resin is still 100% producing perfect deionized water. Now, another question that a load of people asked us is, can they use a pressure washer connected to a DI unit? The answer is yes, you can, and B, totally recommend it, because a pressure washer will actually reduce how much water you use by about 1/3, which means less resin use. I did probably for the majority of the time not use a pressure washer, but just lately I've really got into using this pressure washer, and I got it from Home Depot. I think it was about $90, and I'm really enjoying using it now. And I think before I just stored it in somewhere in the RV that was so difficult to get out that I didn't bother using it. But now I put it somewhere that's easier to get to. So DI tanks, I've re-established the bed. It's on bypass. The output, the green, is connected to my pressure washer. Loads of people use these lamb's wool cleaners. I use it occasionally, but I actually prefer a brush. Now, I know that hundreds of you will write in and say that will scratch the clear coat. Well, let me tell you, I've been washing cars since I was 14, and I've always used a brush, and it's never scratched anybody's car. So if the clear coat is scratched by these brushes, are so soft. If that brush scratches your clear coat, then you've got a problem with your clear coat. So my preference is I use a brush. Sometimes I use the lamb's wool, but mainly I use a brush. We also use a soap cannon to put the soap on. This is connected to the pressure washer, and this again can be bought Home Depot, Lowe's, or we actually have this on our Amazon shop. So if you go to our website, there's a link for this. If you haven't got a pressure washer, this is a great piece of kit. It's a plant spray, again, from Home Depot or Lowe's, and this enables you to get high on the coach so you can actually rinse high. So that's our armada of washing equipment. Now I'm going to start washing, and I'm going to start by pre-rinsing the coach with normal water, so it's on bypass. So I'm going to pre-rinse. I'm then going to attach my soap cannon. I'm going to wash the coats. I'm then going to rinse again, and then I'm going to rinse it with DI water. It's as easy as that. So onwards. Providing you don't let the soap or the normal rinse water dry, you will get a fantastic result. I told you there'd be a small overlap. So I'm already on bypass here, so I'm rinsing it now with normal water from the tap. I mean, the result on glass is quite astounding. The glass, I don't think you'll ever get the glass as clean, irrespective of what product you use. The end result on glass is phenomenal. Just making sure I get all that soap out, because after I've put deionized water on it, the last thing I want is a load of soap running down it. Now I have to be fair, Julia did offer to help wash the RV and I said no, hold the camera.
Just repeat that with your towel.
Did it? Okay. Well, let me just rinse it with DI. I'll do the same comment after. So again, this is the final rinse now using the DI water. Now I have to say that Julia did actually offer to help me today to wash the coach, but instead she's holding the camera. So she doesn't normally offer to wash the coach, but today she did, so thank you. But you do such good camera work, I prefer you on the end of the camera. So as you can see, it's pretty easy. Now, I don't know if you know, I mean you should know, but someone did ring me earlier on and ask this question. Once you've used deionized water, you do not need to towel dry. This is now a finished product. This will dry 100% spot free, stain free, you name it. There will not be a mark on this paintwork, apart from if the wind picks up some dust and throws it on. But this is the finish. So after you've washed it, rinsed it, and then rinsed it with deionized water, you're done. So I've done all this side. It's taken me about 20 minutes, and that's including interruptions from lots of people asking if we're a television crew. I'm now just about to clean the front of the RV, the front screen and the top. So we'll do that now, and then back down the other side, finish off with the rear, and then open a beer. So come and watch me do the front. Now the only difference with doing the front is that we're actually going to use the bug cloth, as we call it, which is the it's a cloth made by Norwex, and I don't know what it's made with, but it gets off all the bugs. So any bugs you've got on the front or on the screen, this cloth will remove them. So we'll clean the front first, see if there's any bugs on it. If there is, I'll go over with the bug cloth. So we're now going to do the front of the coach. Now this is, I'm very critical of this because when I'm driving I like a 100% like new screen, and I use this cloth. It's made by Norwex. We call it the bug cloth, and this is on our Amazon site. It's a bit grubby, this one, but I got 2 of them, and it's got some sort of silicone beads in it. I don't know what it is, but any bugs you have here, you literally just rub it over. You don't need any soap, just water, and they just come off. It doesn't scratch the paintwork. What I normally do after I've cleaned the front, I actually put this cloth on my brush. So I basically, I put the cloth over the brush to get to the high bits. It's brilliant. So I only really use this on the front of the coach, to be fair. Now remember when I was washing the side of the coach, I purposely didn't touch the wheels. I use this product made by MAG, M-A-G. You can get this on our Amazon link on our webpage, and basically you can get it. There's 2. There's one for chrome wheels and there's one for alloy. I've used both and they seem to be the same product, but this one is for alloy wheels. And all you do is you spray this on. Notice I've got gloves on because I think, although it says it contains no acid, you wouldn't want to, I don't think you want to get it on your skin. Now, so you spray the wheel and it will absolutely stink to high heaven. You can almost smell it doing whatever it's meant to be doing, some sort of chemical reaction. I leave it about 10, no, not even that, 2-3 minutes. Then I go over with a brush. And then, and here's the secret, you then want to rinse with DI water, because it's pointless cleaning your wheels, rinsing them with normal water. The water dries and leaves all stains and spots on your rims. So the secret is, it's the DI, it's rinsing it with DI water at the end, and then when the water dries on your rims, they will look like new. If you haven't cleaned your rims for a while, you might have to use another product to get them shiny, but we've always kept our rims in pretty good condition. So, a couple of minutes, I'm now just going over it. Be really careful. This brush I got from one of the AutoZone shops. It's brilliant. It's just the right size to get around all of the wheel nuts. I've also got one that I get in the middle of all the little circles, but for the purpose of this video, I'll just use this. Now, what it won't do, this stuff will not remove tar. You have to use some sort of petroleum based, but it will get off all the crud that you pick up on the road. So there you go, and I've not brushed that very hard. All I've done really is made sure this stuff was covered the whole surface. So now I'm literally going to rinse it off with DI water. Now remember, I told you earlier, I use this angled head that you can get from one of the big DIY stores. Also brilliant for the wheels. Make sure you get all of the product, all of the soap out. And that's it. Once that's dried, that will dry to a completely spot-free finish, and it will be as shiny as a mirror. Right, so we finished doing the coach, so the last thing to do is put the thing away. Now before we put it away, the last job I always do is I fill up my container with DI water, and I use this to wash the front windshield when we're on the road, and also the shower inside after we've cleaned the shower. So this is the very last job. So that's done. All I've got to do now is disconnect the hoses and put it inside one of the bay lockers. So stand by. So when you store this unit, you basically put it in the bypass mode. Once it's in the bypass mode, you can store it. You can lay that horizontally and no water will come out at all. So I just turn the valves any way you like, let any excess water flow out, and then put it in bypass, and that's it. And that's ready to be used next time. So from now, I will put this in my basement. We'll travel 300, 400, 500 miles, and when I want to use it again, I get it out, hook up, and then the same process all over again. This resin will not go off inside this container when it's got water in it. So you do not need to drain this. Leave it as it is. It's heavy, but leave it as it is. That's it, job done. And that's the finish you get. How good's that? And in true Glenn and Julia fashion, now it's time for a beer. Where's my beer?
In the fridge.
It's no good in the fridge.